Are you tired of watching shows that only give you general social media theory and expect you to figure out how to apply it to your own industry? Join us for this week's episode of Social Chatter, the industry's longest running social media marketing news talk show. Not only will you learn the latest breaking news, but you'll also gain practical advice on how to apply it. Now here's your host, Christian Karasevich.
Welcome, everyone, to Social Chatter, your weekly social media marketing news talk show. This is episode 196. We've got a fantastic show for you this week. Lots and lots of topics. And I emphasize lots there. We have quite a few topics. I think we had over like 10 topics that we wanted to talk about. But I'm just going to say a quick hello to everyone. Thanks a lot for joining us. This is episode 196. We're going to be talking this week about a host of Facebook updates. We've got some Instagram updates, as well as a big acquisition, I guess you could say, from an e-commerce business. But I'm going to go ahead and bring on my co-host, Phil Gerbershek. Phil, how are you doing this week?
I am fantastic, Christian. It's great to see you again, buddy. We do have so much to talk about this week. My goodness, I can't believe I had breaking news yesterday, like this morning. We got stuff, so this is really exciting. I'm jacked that we're here.
Absolutely, so I'm going to go and bring on our guest. But can you tell viewers, who do we have on this week?
Yeah, we got Marissa Cali, spelled like half of California. We're super excited she's here. She's a social media marketing strategist that emphasizes on LinkedIn. And unlike our friend Ann Wynn, who's been on the show, Marissa is pro emoji, which I totally love. That's totally exciting because I think it's great. But she also agrees with us that the reactions on LinkedIn are too much clip art. So Marissa, why do you hate Clippy so much? That's all I want to know.
I'm a visual person. I'm really I look at, sometimes I look at good fonts, good pictures. I'm always like that. So when LinkedIn rolled out their reactions, I was like, I don't know about these. They're not up to my standards, but they could change, I guess, whenever they want to.
There you go.
That's a great point. I mean, just like about standards, and as a business owner, you do have to have standards for your business. Like, it's one thing to say, hey, I'm going to use, a tool like, say, Canva for all my designs. But the way you really kind of push that tool, which it's an easy to use tool to start, is you start to build some customization into it. You give your brand a bit of branding, a bit of design, some flair and whatnot, to really help it stand out. So it's a pleasure having you on this week. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you for having me on. I'm excited to talk about all the new things that are going on in social media.
Yeah, and Philip, you were saying like there's a ton of things, aren't there?
Holy crap, right? So much to talk about this week. So exciting. So yeah, so Christian, you want to start with some Facebook news? You want to start with some easy stuff about public comments, or where do you want to start?
Sure. Yeah. Before we begin, let's Marissa, where's the best place for people to, if they have questions or anything like that, or want to connect with you? What's the best place to do that?
Yeah, I mean, here on Facebook, you can go to my page. I'm pretty sure not only Marissa Cali that is a social media strategist, but you can also go find me on LinkedIn. LinkedIn.allthesocial.com will take you right to my profile.
Awesome. Amazing. So also, by the way, for those of you viewing, we're also broadcasting on YouTube over on our channel as well. So if you're watching there, just leave some comments. If you have any questions on things, and we'll do our best to answer them. And obviously at facebook.com/social chefs. So Phil, where do you want to start? We talked Facebook.
Yeah, let's start, because I think this is kind of the most innocuous, but yet potentially the biggest change on Facebook that we've seen in a while. And that is they're trying to make public comments, what they're using this word, I'm not, more meaningful.
Okay.
Which is fascinating, right? So by ranking comments by relevance, and unfortunately by automated relevance, now we're going to see that those people that have all day to comment are going to be at the top of your feed, and they're going to hide some ones that don't get upvoted. So I don't know. I'm not sure that I love this so much. Marissa, what do you think about this?
Yeah, I mean, I really think that they're like trying to force people to stay on Facebook more and be more engaging. So I get that point. But it does kind of, I mean, if you're going to hide comments or not show everything, it kind of defeats the purpose of getting everyone's opinion. right? So
Yep.
I don't know if it bleeds into lines of censorship. I don't think it does because it's not that serious. But I think it just makes one other thing that people need to learn, especially if you're a business owner, on how to be more engaging and get your comments there and have people see your public comments and making not just trolling, right? So
Yeah. Yeah,
that's
well, hopefully, right? I mean, I think that's what they're trying to do here. But I just wonder, right? Like some people, just because of who they are, they get more people that like their comment, right? And that's my concern is that, especially if they hide them from a business owner, now how do you respond to them? How do you find them? What do you do with that? So, Christian, I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, I think this is, a two-part move, right? I think that it's really good that Facebook, we've had, I think Jessica was on last week, right? Yeah. So
yeah.
Jessica was on last week, and I think one of the big things is, she's always talking about building relationships. So I think this is really important. If you're building relationships, and you're getting to know people on a personal level outside of, hey, just buy my stuff. That's where, like, I think public comments can really be useful. I'm sitting here looking at all the people commenting right now, and they're like, they're sharing the post, which is fantastic. Everybody's like just being interactive. So I think that's a good move. I think at the same time, they're trying to cut down on a lot of those people that are trolling on things, with these features. For example, they're going to be using some additional like signals to help determine what is, relevant for a comment. For example, they want people to obviously see safe and authentic comments, but they also want people to basically take some Facebook surveys to give them some feedback. They also want to look at interactions and reactions and replies to comments. But also, for example, people can moderate the comments on their post by hiding, deleting, or engaging with comments. So it's sort of a little bit of censorship, but I understand why they want to do it. I mean, they want to make the platform, at some point you're going to get too many people complaining, hey, there's too much stuff going on and it's not like useful commentary. So I kind of understand where they're coming from with this.
You really think that's what it is, though? Do you really think that that's what they're trying to do? Or do you really think they're trying to force us into private interactions to make sure that we get heard, right? Because they say they're improving public interactions, and I say improving, I got air quotes there. But think about this, right? If I could now see that and it would show up in my messenger box, now I can have a private one-to-one conversation, which I think that's where they're trying to push us, right? Private stories, they're trying to, birthdays, right? I can't even find people's birthdays today anymore.
No,
right?
I didn't. My birthday was a couple weeks ago, and I didn't get any notifications. I was getting posts on my wall. I had to go to my wall and look at it, and I was like, not that I was like looking for those, but when you used to get your birthday notifications, it was, millions of notifications all day long, right?
Exactly. Yes.
Yep. Yeah. And I mean, again, though, I think that's value that we can give if we try to stand out, if we really wish that. And now I got to search for birthdays today, find them, or I got to hope like heck that the time that I'm on Facebook, they send me the one notification a day that says, whoop, 11 of your friends are having a birthday. And it used to be my favorite thing that I do every day. And now it's hard. So, and they're encouraging me to post to their birthday story, which nobody watches. They want me to send them a birthday card via Messenger, which nobody likes. It's like seriously, like let me celebrate birthdays how I want to celebrate them. Help me here, and help me communicate with my customers, my prospects, the way that I want to, in a meaningful way for me, not a meaningful way for Facebook that just makes their algorithm better.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, I mean, and I also like them. I like this move only because it does allow us to then go to groups, which I enjoy much more than pages, because there are conversations happening and relationships being built. So
yeah, okay, yeah, I can see that, right? If we push them to groups, maybe that's good. But then again, I want all notifications. I want all comments. I want all people, because if it's just the popular people that continue to get heard, the value of the group is going to diminish.
Right.
Absolutely. And I'm sitting here actually reading through some comments, and I'm reading through one for Barb Tomlin, and she's mentioning how to win friends and influence people. That Dale Carnegie book, that's actually a great book. I'm going to drop a link to that actually here in the chat.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic book.
It's a good recommendation.
Yeah.
Let me see. I know we're having a few commenting issues today, pulling comments in actually, so I can't pull her comment in. But Barb was mentioning, note number 50 of the best-selling books on Amazon for 2018, How to Win Friends and Influence people, originally published in 1936. I think there's actually a digital version of this as well. So it's like How to Win Friends and Influence People in the Digital Age, I think.
Yep.
So, yeah. So fantastic recommendation, Barb. Thank you. So what do you guys think about anything else you want to cover on this particular topic on Facebook public comments? Any changes to that?
Not for me. I think that about sums it up, right? This is an interesting move. Could be really big. Make sure you're paying attention if you're managing a page or a group to make sure that you're giving love and equal like, comment, share reactions to those people that are there. And I would encourage you even to pull out the best stuff and mention them on the page as a separate post so that you can get even more interaction. If you get something really good, not just, hey, that was nice, or hey, I have a question.
Yeah, no, definitely. Okay, so we talked a little bit about Facebook. What else? Where do you want to go next, Bill?
Let's go to Instagram, right? So, and then we'll get into two meaty topics because the next two are going to be pretty deep. So Instagram, as we've reported before, Instagram is hard as heck if you get hijacked.
Yeah.
It's hard as heck. So we have to make sure that we make it easier for people to be able to retrieve their accounts. And this is really been a challenging thing. So now Instagram is going to offer some more insurance on this. And this has been a total sore point because they've exposed passwords. They've got intrusion attempts, right? Because Instagram is the only network that's continuing to grow. So first question, Marissa, are you an Instagram fan or not?
I'm Instagram stories fan.
Instagram stories. Interesting. Yeah. So you start there. Very good. And what's your handle on Instagram?
All the social.
All the social. Well, that makes it easy.
Across all of them, yeah.
Oh, so you just go there. But if I'm going to sit on Instagram, I'm going to find you now. How do I find you now?
Go to all the social. I probably don't even have a recent story, but
I gotcha. I thought you were saying that was your URL before. I got it now. Very cool. Now I gotcha. Cool. I gotcha. So all the social it is. So I got you there. So do you have a good story up today?
No stories yet.
Oh, no stories yet.
Yeah, cool. I'm not as active on Instagram. I mean, I think with all the changes, and this goes back to like a bigger thing, and I don't know if this is off topic, but with all the changes on social media, it's becoming overwhelming for us as business owners, I think, to one, keep up with everything, also serve our clients and like add and change different things that are working within strategies. And so when I left social media marketing world in March, the big thing that I took away with it was, focus where you feel that you do the best work. And so I've cut back a lot on my Instagram usage, just because I was getting too overwhelmed, I think, with everything, not only managing accounts, but, developing strategies for new businesses, but also managing my own and being innovative and making it worth, my time and my sanity.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on all the time. And so, that's why I'm, cut back, and I think it's okay, because when I am there, I am providing value and doing good stories, I believe.
Awesome.
And here's the thing. I mean, it's really all about scaling a business. And the problem that you have a lot with social is that a lot of people, they get on social, if they're relatively new, they just start, everybody gives them the same advice. Hey, you need to be on all the social media channels. And what I think people do is I think they misconstrue that message. They think that it means, hey, I need to be active on all these channels. No, you just need to have a presence. You don't have to use them all at once. So I think that, this is, I applaud you for being able to scale back on what you're doing so that you can then move forward a lot faster. So that's a great move. As far as this, update with Instagram, basically testing easier ways to recover hacked accounts. I can tell you guys personally, having done this since 2006 or so, it's not been easy if you lost an account on Instagram. At one point, like you could try to get your account recovered. Instagram would say, hey, we're sending you, a link to get your account back. And that would actually never go out to the user because there were bugs. So it's good to see that they're finally making some adjustments here to recover hacked account. And by the way, if you do have a password, obviously you have a password on your account, make sure that, it's not the same one you're using for all your channels. It's not the same one you're using for your email and so forth. make it different, make it unique. Maybe use, like a password management tool that can help come up with phrases that will make it easier for you so that your account likely will not get hacked and hijacked.
Yeah, I always use the default password of I love social chatter. That's my password, and yeah, so that works for me. So, and along with that, right? So I also love getting my emails every day from Christian all about this. If you go to socialchefs.com/daily, you too can get all this stuff because we got so much to cover this week. There's no way Marissa, Christian, and I are going to cover it all. So I really encourage you folks, if you're thinking, boy, there's way more than they could cover, I wish that we had a way to do it. You can do it. Go to socialchefs.com/daily. Get your daily dose of social media marketing goodness from Christian there. Again, socialchefs.com/daily for your daily dose of social media goodness. So I don't know if there's much more to say about this one, Christian. I think just knowing that it's better, I think, is important, and knowing that they're testing it and hopefully we will not get hacked will be important, right?
Right.
Yeah, well, I think to me the one part that I would cover on this, that Christian just mentioned to viewers, is just that if your account does get hacked, what typically happens is people will go in, they'll change the username, they'll change the contact data, and it's like, poof, I can't get access to this. So Instagram is actually trying to offer a safeguard that ensures that like the username will not be able to be claimed for like a period of time. So that's one thing that I think is very useful. And they're also going to try to come up with a better way for people to be able to, to retrieve their account. A lot of times people use two-factor authentication. That's another thing to set up. I realize it's a pain in the butt sometimes when you set up two-factor authentication because, hey, it's an extra step. I got it, depending on where you are, sometimes it does and doesn't work. You don't get the message with the password or with the PIN that they might give you. But that is something to keep in mind. And again, you should also change your passwords every few months, so that this doesn't happen. So,
one of the things I thought about when they said that you wouldn't be able to get your username, like if it, if someone were to change it, I was thinking about, when you set up a separate account, like you want to change your personal account into like a business account, new profile, and you want to keep that old personal name.
Yeah.
But then for some reason you change it and then you can't get your old name on that second account because it's locked out, and then you forget about it and then you lose that name. And that's the only thing that I was like, oh, it's kind of not okay, but
no. And actually that actually happened. I think it was a few weeks back. I think it was like the San Diego Padres, I think like baseball team.
Yeah.
Somebody had accident. I think they might have done it. Not really kind of realizing the ramifications. I think they changed the username, and then, obviously that's a very important name to have. You're also within baseball's, Major League Baseball's rules. So, by changing that, I think somebody might have tried to claim the account. But
he did. He did. It was a big story. I mean, I'm in San Diego, so it's like a huge thing here, and like. He was like, oh, I'll take like season tickets or something if you guys want the name back. And I think because it happened on like a Sunday, and I don't know who messed up there. Like they had to have an agreement with Twitter to be able to do this, but like someone dropped the ball. I think it was.
Oh yeah.
So
scary.
Well, so what can happen? I mean, typically, if you're, I can tell you guys from experience, like here, but if you have like a major company like that, and you do happen to lose access to the account, or somebody does actually steal the account, you do get some additional benefits to being able to get around that. So, so it's not as hard to recover because you can justify all of that. So hopefully they didn't have to pay too much for that. I never found out what the outcome was. But
no, I don't. I think he just gave it back. I mean,
So, okay. So we got Facebook, we got some Instagram updates. What else?
Let's move to the Amazon news, right? Because this is interesting, and then we'll come back to the last Facebook topic. So Amazon, they own Twitch, which a lot of people don't know, just like Facebook owns Instagram. They bought Bebo. Now, again, if you're not up on this, Bebo was Blab.
Yes,
Blab is where social chatter started. So this is really interesting because now we're going to see how they're going to use this for esports. But I'd also tell you, this is also fascinating for how you can now do multi-location conversations. So if you've got a wine store and you've got 4 or 5 locations, now you can have a wine tasting at one place and show all the other places. You can have multi-place meetings. I think this is really big news because Amazon getting into this space, like I predicted last year, this is all about identity management. You want to be a single platform. If you pick a platform, you could pick Apple, you can pick Amazon, you pick Google, you pick Microsoft, right? You pick those, and Facebook. Now Amazon is going head to head here with some of the stuff that Apple's doing, or with some of the stuff that Facebook's doing, some of the stuff Microsoft is doing, some of the stuff Google's doing. This is a potentially big move for business, so pay attention to this. So what do you think about this, Marissa?
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what Twitch is. I haven't even logged in, but it's, I like that Amazon is trying to like keep up with the times, I guess, and innovate. We'll see where it comes, how that competes with anything that Facebook's coming out with. But Twitch is like a whole new platform that I don't even know about. It's like something that, I don't know. I know a few people do like game streaming and stuff like that.
Yep.
But that's about the most of my knowledge on Twitch. So.
Yeah, well, that's the big thing that the platform is used for. But Christian, what are you thinking about this, man? You seeing some business ramifications beyond the games?
I think this is actually going to be a really, really, really good move by Amazon. We covered this back on, and Phil, I don't remember how long ago. It was quite a while ago, but everybody probably has heard of Zoom. So Zoom is a video conferencing platform. A lot of people use it. But Amazon also has their own webinar platform, basically. And they have a couple different services attached to this. And I see this actually becoming part of that as well. So in addition to the esports aspect, they have obviously probably everything else that was under this umbrella, it was Blab and whatnot. But I think this is going to be big news for like people that, are not, I basically see this. I think at some point Amazon's going to roll this into Prime. They're going to start to give you all these features Prime. What's one of the biggest issues people have? A lot of people have subscription creep. Basically, they're tired of all these monthly subscriptions for things, and their services that like, well, hey, this one's $25 a month. Oh, that doesn't seem like much, but hey, after you add up a bunch of those, it's a lot of money you're paying every month for individual services. And I think that at some point this will become part of Prime.
And it's fresh content.
Yeah.
Let's not forget that, right? This is something Netflix can't compete with. This is something that Apple can't compete with. This is fresh live content that then can be recorded. That's your point, Christian. I think which is a beautiful point, that then you roll it into Prime so you can rewatch that. Also competing again with Google's YouTube, right? Really, really fascinating stuff here. This is Prime. Let's call it Prime Red for lack of a better term, right? This is pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, and in addition to this, by the way, Amazon also has also programs where you can sign up to basically be an ambassador for them, where you can have your own pages set up where, for example, we have one set up for live streaming tools. We got one set up for podcasting tools and so on that people can purchase through Amazon. But remember, start to roll some of the, let's just say, think about this, you can combine all of these things and, hey, now I have a shop. Hey, now I have a video service. Amazon also has the, Alexa service as well. So, we've got a flash briefing set up, but you can essentially tie all of this stuff together into a pretty amazing package. And I'm looking at the comments and Stephanie's saying, hey, Amazon allows shops to live stream as well, right? To create a home shopping network show. Absolutely. I think it makes a lot of sense. That's a brilliant move to have a home shopping network. Makes a lot of sense. So this is like, everybody's probably like, oh, a big deal. Amazon bought somebody, but I think there's a lot of long-term value in this with what Amazon does. They're always pushing the envelope.
Yeah.
Cool. Very cool. Yeah, lots of opportunity here, folks. Lots of potential for your business. So if you're not yet live streaming, you might want to try it, because now we've got one more platform that you can play on. Very, very, very interesting, very potentially big, very potentially profitable. So give it a shot, folks. If you're not live streaming yet, try it out. Go to Facebook, play with live, whatever that is. Christian, do we have a live guide yet that we need to be giving people? We got to set one of those up, huh?
Yeah, we do. I'm actually working on right now trying to pull up the list, by the way, that you can set up for people. So
Cool.
so if I'm a business, this is something you could consider setting up, is set up a channel on Amazon where
Yep.
basically people can go in and make purchases off of the recommendations you make.
Awesome.
I'm not
So
saying,
we'll be creating a live stream guide some point for you, so you can get started live streaming. Should be pretty simple. But yeah, if you have questions like that, drop them in the comments. Let us know what you're thinking here, so we can help you be better at live streaming. Because we know, business can be tough. Sometimes you need some help, and we can help you with that. Happy to do so. So let's talk about the last topic though, and then we're going to move into tool time, because this is nuts. Facebook,
what do I got on here? Yeah.
right? Facebook is now going to be the bank.
Yeah.
I mean, just full, really small news, right? Only the biggest platform on the planet now getting into banking, not just banking. And this is kind of crazy. Now they're getting into cryptocurrency, which is really, really interesting. Most likely because they're trying to avoid bank fees, right? 3% times 1.2 billion people is a lot of cash that's sitting out there waiting to be had. They can create their own bank, their own currency, their own stuff, and it's already got investments from Visa, MasterCard, and all of this. This is really stinking fascinating. Marissa, are you going to use Calibra here? Are you going to use cryptocurrency?
I might have to. I might have to get into it.
Yeah.
When I read about this, I was equally fascinated and terrified because of how much this all kind of brings everything together in my day-to-day, like social media and banking and client invoices and ads and all of that. If people are embracing it the way Facebook hopes to, that people embrace it, I mean, it's just going to be like everyone living on Facebook essentially, in Messenger and WhatsApp and but I'm not sure. I mean, I don't know, because there was Facebook privacy issues, and they say that they're committed to making sure that they're following all the rules and making sure that it's safe for all of us to use. But do we really know? So.
And I will say that to me is the biggest issue with this is just, all these privacy things that have come up from Facebook, and, then you introduce banking. To me, I don't know. To me, that just seems a little odd. The timing does not seem right for that. But I love the idea of this, but the timing definitely does not seem right on my end.
And how do they accomplish this with all the privacy regulations? Like in the UK, there's GDPR, and how can other businesses also be compliant with GDPR? And then what about in the US and Canada, North America, South America? Like, are they the similar regulations eventually? I've heard that's going to come out. And how does this all tie into, like, are we literally going to be living on Facebook all day long?
Yeah. Well, that's the big question. So initially, my guess is they roll it out to the US, right? That would make some sense, because at least then we've got a subset of users that have the same rules. But to your point, Marissa, which I think is brilliant, if I've got an international business,
right,
how do I calculate shipping costs? How do I do all this stuff, right? How do I make this work? How do I comply, right? Which part of GDPR do I need to worry about for my friends in Colombia, right? Which part of and I know that's not the same, right? Anybody telling me that, hey, that's Great Britain. No, I got, or Germany, right? I know that, but I'm just saying, right? So, but something like GDPR, how do we do all this? I mean, this is really fascinating stuff. So I think your point is super valid. I think Facebook, they jumped in, I would say, head first, but the question is, to your point, really strong. Does this keep people on the platform, or does this make people just more afraid that this is one more reason why not to trust Facebook? Right. Big question, right? I mean, we'll see what the stock market reacts with this. I mean, that's going to be our first indicator, right? Because they usually lead, because they predict, because they've done way more research than the three of us have combined, right? We'll see what the market does. So I'd say pay attention to the Facebook stock and see if this is going to be legit or if this is something you can ignore.
Right.
And I will say, I mean, the Facebook stock at the moment, I mean, has been doing quite well. But I think this is, again, I mean, you have to kind of think about this. Facebook for the longest time has wanted to, they wanted to keep people watching, they want to keep people on their platform. They want it, some people are like, well, hey, why do I need a website? Hey, I can have a Facebook page. So they've really been pushing that for the longest time, and so I think this is a good move. I think, like right now, if you want as a business to set up like services or sell products through your page, you got to use Stripe. Hey, that's another couple percent. You were talking about this earlier. So Facebook, doing this, it makes a lot of sense. It
Yep.
really does. So
Yep.
don't be surprised if some of these things do change, for your business. Like maybe you're used to using Stripe and the next day, hey, Facebook's decided to launch this. But you do have quite a while, not happening until 2020. So keep that in mind.
Well, we'll see, though. That's what they say. But my guess is they're going to have to get to market faster than that, because if they don't, somebody's going to beat them, right? Jack has already got on Twitter. He's already owned Square. Yep. Amazingly, he's not connected the two of those as strongly as he could. But, Twitter payment, that would keep me on Twitter more if I thought, I paid one of my contractors this morning using Google Wallet, right? Google Pay. I mean, this happens. I have done some payment via Facebook, which it's interesting. There's no fee. So I'm wondering if Facebook is just eating that charge to try to get us to use the platform, because there is an ACH fee. This is not free, right? There is an ACH fee for third party, typically, not always. Maybe they have a different agreement set up. I don't know, right? Obviously, that's not my ballywick, but just something to think about. What's next? How's this going to play? So, but potentially big news. And anybody wants to send me money, you can do that. My handle is Phil Gerb. That's a free plug. That's No, I'm just kidding, right? But you're welcome to. I'm just being a smart aleck. But certainly, this has got big potential here, folks. Really good stuff.
And by the way, I pulled up this is a walkthrough of Calibra, like how it kind of works. Obviously, if you look at this, it's going to look just like any sort of modern day payment processing that you've done. For example, if you use, it's not going to look like PayPal, but if you're going to use
Venmo.
What was that?
Venmo.
Yep.
Venmo, Square Cash. Yeah. So if you're going to use any of those, it's going to look very similar. I think, here's what I actually kind of see. I see this almost like the next progression. So, for example, you had mobile phones, and then everybody was, jonesing to get they wanted market share for a mobile phone. And then everyone then was like, well, hey, we need to have our own, mobile phone. So they tried to come out with their own. And then, everything's really been pushing to let's say music. Everybody wants their own music service. So we've seen, Facebook, and we've seen, Google, we've seen Amazon, we've seen Apple. They've sprung up with individual services. Now everybody's moving into movies. Hey, we're going to produce our own stuff because, hey, we want to compete with Netflix. Nobody wants to doesn't seem like they want to play nice. So I think that banking is the next industry where we're going to start to see this for sure. But again, not happening until 2020. So
yeah, cool.
But
very, very cool.
Add on this, by the way, it looks, I'm glad it looks really simple, easy to use. I think from a business perspective, just keep in mind that, changes are coming next year.
Yeah, coming very soon with that. I as you said, Christian, I love the simplicity of this interface. Yep. This makes it so much easier. There's zero learning curve. Anytime that you can do that with an app, you can gain adoption from people who are just going to add on one more service. So this lesson for business owners is, don't try to make something funky. Go with something that they're already used to using that you can get more adoption with. Really, really important tip here for any user experience person. There was a meme going around this week. You read this first, then you read this, then you read this. Mm-hmm. Don't try to pretend like that doesn't happen. You don't have to be the smartest person. Copy the giants, copy the best stuff, and use that for your business. Great lesson for people.
And by the way, do you guys notice? I'm looking at this screen here. So let's just kind of walk through these screens. That first screen looks very similar to what? Stories. Very similar. So we got similar usage there. Second one, not so much. Third one, hey, what does that look like? Looks like all those, nice colored backgrounds that you can put on Facebook. Hey, somebody sends some money. You mentioned this earlier, Marissa. You mentioned, I think, Venmo. Venmo is essentially a social network for transactions. Mm-hmm. And, when you send money to people, it goes into a chat there. This is more content that goes in your newsfeed. But
I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's what they're trying to do, right? They are trying to keep us on platform. I agree. I don't know, but we know that's what they're trying to do, which is interesting. So we'll see if we use that, though. There's a lot of stuff here, a lot of potential. I think more choices is great. I would say this. I think Facebook is underestimating how hard this is going to be. because I'm going to tell you right now, having worked in banking and finance, this is the most regulated industry on the planet. The fact that Facebook is dipping their toe in, I don't think they know what they're doing. I really don't. Not that they won't have a great platform. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying from a regulation perspective, this could be a lot stickier wicket than they realize. So, and with that, hey, Christian, you notice Tim's son just got on. We need to give a shout out to Tim. Happy birthday, buddy. His birthday was just a little bit ago. So happy birthday, Tim.
And
Happy
that is
birthday,
one of the
Tim.
messages. What was that?
She said happy birthday too.
Okay. I was going to say that was one of the messages that I got this morning as well. Happy birthday, Tim. So thanks a lot for joining us on your birthday. That means a lot to us, actually. So
absolutely. He's here to see Marissa, Christian. Let's not be fooled, man.
Of course.
So absolutely. So cool. So, well, that's a bad segue because I don't want to call Tim a tool, but I'll call me a tool because it's time for tool time, folks. It's our favorite part of the show. It's tool time where we talk about 2 fun tools that you can use to grow your business, make a bigger impact, and have more fun while you're working. 3 things that we all want to do. So it's tool time.
So
we're dancing behind the scenes here. So there's an official tool time dance. Just nobody but us gets to see it. Oh, there we go. Marissa's got it though. She's doing it. Don't forget the finger guns. Pew, 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 pew. Let's not forget those. So there we go. So cool. So what's the first tool, Christian?
The first tool is Draw, and it's draw.io. Basically, this is, and actually, you know what? I'm going to let Marissa explain this one because she brought this one to us. So what is draw.io for viewers?
So I guess it just depends on how you learn and how you want to communicate your messages to your clients or potential clients even. A lot of times for me, what helps is using a whiteboard, but you're not always in the same room or same space as your client. So I've used Draw.io to map out like a content strategy. So we have one main idea. You start with, you have all the images on the left-hand side. You can use a circle or a rhombus or whatever. Right. And then you can connect the different ideas to a new idea. So it's more so a visual representation maybe of what's going on in your head.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Without using just text. So I've used this for, content strategy. I've also used it for workflows and mapping out, the journey basically from what landing page they go on to what's the next page, what are the options. And then, this is like a super, I think, techie type tool. And I got exposed to it when I was doing a lot of digital project management. But it's really been helpful to kind of, put into a visual aspect. Like I said before, I'm a visual person. So if it helps my client to see what's going on in my head and articulate it, with images and like a workflow, then I think it helps
awesome.
other people. Sometimes you can detail a workflow in text, right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't resonate with them because they're just not that type of learner. And I think this was mentioned at Social Media Week Lima. I forgot. I think it was Stephanie. I don't know if she's still on, but she was talking about words that they were, Tim and Jim were doing a recap of the conference yesterday, and they were talking about how she presented how different people learn, and if they're visual learners or, if they learn by listening or whatever. And so this has just been a really helpful tool to map out, what's going on in my head, but also, to articulate it to the clients in a visual way. So
very cool. Can you export it to PowerPoint?
Not sure, but it does sync with Google Drive. So I don't know if, I imagine you can screenshot it and put it into PowerPoint slides.
PNGs, JPEGs, PDFs, HTML, XML, URL. Let's see what the advanced option is. It gives us obviously some additional files, some design files a little bit here as well. So SVG file, but lots and lots of functionality here. You also have, let's see, it also imports from Google Drive, OneDrive, Dropbox, GitHub, Trello. So if you've been working in Trello, because a lot of people will use that for their process management of things or their task, it's a good way to tie that in as well. So that way, the good thing is everything is not scattered. It's not scattered in your head. It's if it's something that's in your head, you should put that down on paper and just get it out of your head.
Right.
And then, once you have that, then you can, tie it into other programs, other platforms that you're using, so that, hey, it doesn't always live here.
Right.
Cool. Is there cost to this, by the way?
No.
Okay. So, and there's an offline version as well, which is pretty nice. So,
wow.
So we have an offline.
Definitely be checking this out. This is awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
For you guys, like, even from a business, for your own internal,
yeah.
Hey, like, I'm going to map out Social Chatter show, and this is what we're going to talk about. And then,
Absolutely. No, that's great, Marissa. Thank you for that. So the tool is called Draw, folks. If you're unfamiliar with that, you go to draw.io. Christian, I'm sure, dropped a link for you in the comments so you can check that out, but definitely check out Draw. Great find. Thank you, Marissa.
So the second tool that we have for viewers this week it's one of my favorites, actually. It's called Parallels Toolbox. I've got a quick little YouTube video here. I'm going to show you guys how this kind of works. But basically, it's a very simple tool. So instead of paying for a lot of different little mini apps that perform, 1 to 2 different tasks, what Parallels Toolbox basically will do is it houses a lot of these apps in one place. I'll give you some examples here. So, for example, it has the ability to quickly fire up your camera, record your screen, take some screenshots, put your device in airplane mode, or in this case, your laptop in airplane mode, so that if you're trying to, say, record a video, you're not getting pop-up notifications and unknown sounds and whatnot that could throw your viewers off. It's got a video conversion feature, way to quickly access Do Not Disturb, download audio, download video, quickly find duplicate content so you can keep your computer running optimally. And one of my favorite features, hide the desktop, so that if you're ever running, a recording and you want to hide all the files you've got stacked on your desktop, you can quickly do that. But this is Parallels Toolbox. It's a Windows and a Mac software. It's $20 a year. So have you guys used this? I personally, I use it, but have you all used it?
Never. I'd never heard of it till you brought it up. I went through and I looked at it. For $20, it's got a lot of potential. I think it's worth the investment. I don't know. What do you think, Marissa?
Yeah, I mean, it's I hadn't got to play with it. I read a bit about it, but anything to simplify your day-to-day and your processes. I think that's, like I said before, it can get overwhelming with everything. So,
and a lot of the functionality, I will say, a lot of this functionality can be had in separate apps.
Yeah.
For example, I had a separate app for changing the screen resolution. I have an app that I use for, recording my screen. For example, every computer has a built-in feature to record your screen, but it also it just helps keep things running optimally. And for those of you who don't know, Parallels is actually the company that owns, they do a boot camp, basically, is a feature where you can run, for instance, Windows within a Mac environment and so on. So it's a very handy tool for $20. You would easily spend that on a number of these other little features that are there. So something to keep in mind.
Yeah, I think the presentation mode, the one that allows you to keep focus on that screen, is the most valuable or the most intriguing to me, because switching through different tabs and going from one browser to your Zoom or whatever, it can really mess up your day if you're not focused on that one task.
And if you're doing any live video, by the way, there's a couple other things that are very useful here. One of those is you can actually make animated GIFs using this. We used it, for example, for our blog posts to resize our images. So if we want to optimize them for our blog to have certain resolution, we can quickly drop our images in there, put the resolution in, and they spit them out as new files. It also has a handy feature, and Stephanie, if she's still watching, this might be useful. It's got a launch feature where you can quickly launch multiple apps, documents, and so forth with just one click, basically. So like a macro. And that can be beneficial, for example, if you're going to get ready for a live show. Let's say you have a couple of applications and you want to bring up your Facebook page and you want to bring up your YouTube channel so you don't miss the comments. You can quickly run all of that through this app. So $20 basically, one-time purchase, or sorry, annual purchase.
Annual. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
unfortunately annual, but it's also made by a company that's not going to necessarily go out of business anytime soon. But yeah.
$20 though, folks, probably worth the investment, at least to give it a try. If you make a few animated GIFs that get you some more traffic, that get you some more business, this could be fantastic for you. So Parallels Desktop, really cool tool, man.
And if anybody's got questions on that, feel free to drop them in the comments, or you can reach out to me personally. You can reach us at Social Chefs on all of our social media channels. So Phil, have we reached?
Dude, we extinguished them there, but we got a lot of stuff, folks, that we didn't get a chance to cover today. So if you're like, hey, there's other stuff that happened this week, right? Pinterest had some big news, got some other stuff there, but so sign up, right? Check out socialchefs.com/daily. Get your daily dose, get all the stuff that we didn't hit, because Christian is going to recap this. You'll see the video recap. Pretty soon we're coming out. Hey, Christian, I'm going to tell him, man, we're coming out with a podcast. So you can listen. You won't be able to watch, so you won't be able to see Marissa's smiling face like you would today, which we're grateful for. But you will be able to listen. You'll still be able to learn, and that'll be coming out soon. So stay tuned for that, and check out Draw, check out everything, because such good stuff. But check out Marissa Callie. So Marissa,
yes,
remind us where they can find your awesome sauce, because you were great today. Thank you.
Thank you. I had a good time. I don't get a lot of time always just to chat about the new stuff and nerd out on news. So thank you. But you can connect with me on any of the platforms. It's at All The Social. My preferred platform is LinkedIn or Facebook. So you can connect with me. I've made a comment in the comments down there, so you can just.
Fantastic. I was going to say thank you so much for doing that. I always ask every guest to go in and leave their social links. That way I make sure to get the right ones.
Yeah.
Hey, I have this one. I have that one. And I've got a comment I'm going to pull up for everybody. If you're watching us live, or you're watching the replay, or you're watching through the blog post that will be going out tomorrow. So at All The Social and all the social channels, preferred platforms, LinkedIn or Facebook. So, and it looks like you had a lot of fans today too, actually, which is really good. So this week's guest was Marissa Callie. So I want to thank everybody for joining us this week. As I mentioned, we're going to have a blog post recap that's going to go out tomorrow. We have a couple other topics actually we didn't get to cover this week, because we try to keep the show to under an hour for everyone. We don't want to waste your time. We want to, again, get you to learn, well, what's new? How can this apply to me from a business perspective? And then if you have questions, feel free to ask those and whatnot. So, but thanks a lot for watching this week. Marissa, I appreciate you just spending some of your time with us. It's a pleasure having you on. Phil, same to you as well. Thanks for actually giving your lunch break up for this. I really appreciate that. So that's good. Go ahead, Phil. You say something?
No, it's Marissa said something.
I said, thank you guys. I know we had I think you originally had said 5 a.m. my time, and I was like, no, I don't know if that'll work. But
That's okay. This worked great. We're grateful for you. So thank you, Marissa.
Appreciate it.
So for those of you watching, thanks a lot for watching episode 196 of Social Chatter, the industry's longest running social media marketing talk show. Absolute pleasure for joining us this week. We have that's actually really cool. That's pretty cool. By the way, where can I get that at? That's pretty neat.
I got it at Home Goods. I don't know if you guys have it out there. Yeah.
Nice. Very nice. So, and by the way, for those of you watching,
Amazon too, I think.
We love as a social media person. Like, we love just, hashtag lights, coffee mugs, rings.
I have the Canada one today.
The Canada one here. Are you proud of the Raptors one? I assume.
No, actually, I was in Canada when they almost won last Monday, but I got back on Thursday or Wednesday. So.
Okay. Well, so to everybody who's watching, thanks a lot for joining us this week. Just a heads up, we're going to have another fantastic guest on. She popped in here for a few minutes for this week's show. That's going to be Stephanie Liu. She is going to be on next week. And Phil, what time are we getting next week? Is that?
Oh, next week it looks like I got 11 Central, 8 o'clock Pacific on my calendar. So next week I'll be in San Diego, actually, Marissa. Wow. So we'll talk.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, Stephanie and we live like 10 minutes from each other. It's kind of funny.
Awesome.
Very
Yeah.
nice. So we're going to have Stephanie on next week. You'll be able to join us on Facebook at facebook.com/social chefs, as well as youtube.com/social chefs as well, streaming to both those platforms. But thanks a lot for joining, everyone. We will see you all next week.
Bye.
See ya.